Thank you, John. Like John said, we run a fairly large VoIP network in Canada. We only service Canadian PBX customers. We service about 15,000 customers, and we've probably seen all the problems you guys probably get on a daily basis. And one issue we had was with our staff was when a customer calls in and says, hey, I made a call this morning, I couldn't connect. Can you look into it? Can you look into it for me? And like, okay, so we used to go into Asterisk and search the logs, and was not very efficient. So I took on the task to design a new syslog server that will collect all the Asterisk logs, index them, and then a little web interface for us to go and just search the logs by phone number. So customer call in, what number did you dial? Put that number. We get the call in with all the calls. Click on the right call and get the logs for that one specific call. So you don't see everybody's logs just for that call. So I'll show you at the end there, if we have some time, I'll show you a live demo of our system. So we run about, right now we have about 16 gateway servers. We generate about 120,000 calls a day, and it collects all the logs for all the calls. We never missed any. And doesn't use much CPU either on a good Quad Xeon server. And also, we wanted to be able to go back in time because they always call a day later. So, oh, yesterday I couldn't make calls, especially when you call them to collect money. So that's why we, with our servers there, we had the server can handle 7 days, no problem. But it's up to you. It's a cron job that you clean the database. You just drop anything before that date, and there you go. And by doing so, like we used to spend, I don't know why I wrote 30 minutes. It's probably like 20 minutes average call on support. We reduced it down to 7 minutes. That's so much time we save searching for logs. And then we can also cut and paste and send it by email. Here's what we're getting. Now to do so, we had to write a little app function in Asterisk just to show the, we call it the, well, I come from the old telecom world, so ANI and DNS, or caller ID number and dialed number. So we could do the proper indexing. So if you want to integrate that in your systems, you need to recompile your Asterisk server with that little function and add that function in your dial plan. I'll show you how. The whole code is free. I'm giving it away. You can download it from our website. It's there. The address is there. So that's the app show call info.c. It's a little application that we wrote in for Asterisk. It doesn't do much. It just do a print into your log file. So just save it under your apps directory in Asterisk, and just do make install, and it will compile and install it properly. That's all you have to do in Asterisk, other than changing your dial plan. Now, in your dial plan, you have to add that little line, show call info, for each call. So if you receive a call before at the beginning of your, like here's an example here. I like to do to show the receive IP there, and then show call info. And you do that for all your everywhere in your dial plan. David, yesterday mentioned something about channel local. So if you reroute the call through using local channels, it will create 2 logs. You'll still be able to see it because we use a process ID to index them, but you'll still be there. Now you need to tell your Asterisk server to send all the logs to syslog. So we use standard protocol for this. So it's very easy. In your logger.conf file, you just specify, just put it there, and I put all the logs. The verbose, error, everything. And in my servers, because we run everything off flash, I don't write anything to disk. So I don't need to. I've got all my logs centralized. So it saves a lot of, makes my flash disk live longer. And then, so Asterisk will send it to the syslog of your Asterisk server, of your Linux server. So now you need to tell Linux to send all the logs to our centralized log server that runs the modified version of syslog. So Asterisk sends all the log to its own server using syslog, and then you set up syslog to forward all the logs to an IP address of your the server that you set up the centralized system. And then, well, restart both Asterisk and syslog, and on startup, they'll start pumping all the logs to the server. So far, that's the work needed to be done on all your Asterisk servers. One more thing, I forgot. In asterisk.conf file, try to set up your verbose to 20 or more. Because if you don't do that, when you reboot the Asterisk server, you won't get the logs. So it needs to be set to 20 or more, so it sends all the logs, all the notices logs, all the information you need. It will send the error and the important messages, but the notice messages, the verbose, you have to set it higher to get it. Actually, it's just, the logs you get is the same log that you get when you're on the console. So that's why you need to set it higher. Now, so then you have your main server, your centralized server that you have to run our special syslog version and MySQL database, plus the HTTP to be able to access your logs. So you can download the code from our website there. You just untar it, make install, and then you need to create your MySQL database. So there again, you can download the schema there. We put the schema there, so there won't be any errors. And you need to create a database. So really easy for anybody who did any small MySQL stuff there. Very basic. So once you created the database, we have a table called hosts. So the system, instead of putting the IP addresses of all your hosts there on the menu, you want to put a little short name. It's easier to remember. So you need to. We didn't wrote a nice web interface to manage the system, just to show logs. So for now, we need to insert the IP addresses of each host manually in your database. But you only do that once. So, and I don't think your Asterisk server's IP address changed that much. But in the future, it's something we'll probably add a little button there to manage the box, like user IDs and IP addresses. That whole system was just designed in 2 days. So, and then, like I said, you need to set up a user IDs to access the web interface. You don't want everybody to have access to all the logs. So there again, we do it manually, like this. And later on, we'll probably have somebody to work on to design the web interface to do a complete web management. So now we're ready to start the syslog server. So here's the command to start it. Or I didn't have time to do the RC style files yet. So for now, I just added in the rc.local, and it starts as a daemon. And finally, you have to install the web interface. So the web interface was all designed in PHP, very simple, very basic. So you need to make sure you install HTTP and PHP, and then you can download our code again from our website, extract it in your var.ww, the HTML and log server folder, and then start HTTP. Now you're ready to use it. All you have to do is point your browser to your service address /log server, and you now have access to all your logs. And this is the screen it's going to give you. I don't know. Do we see it well? So on the top there, you have your. This is where you enter the phone number you're looking for. On the left side, this is all the calls that were made. So all the date, the time, from which host it came from, and then if you want to see the logs for that call, you just click on the log button, and then on the right side you get the complete Asterisk log just for that call. So any question before we start doing some demos?
So if the call's handled by multiple servers on the way through, you sort of know which one you're going to look at?
As long as you put the address in the host table.
Yeah, I mean, so you enter that
Yeah, the top number, yep. That's the number that whatever they dialed or receive a call from.
So if a call comes on one server and then goes to another server and goes to another server.
You'll see all the servers there. If they were set up properly, you'll see all the servers there with the same number. Any other question?
When you did your setup, do you have a server collecting logs for each one of your VoIP servers?
No, there's one central server. So one syslog server that collects all the logs and store them in the local database.
Okay.
So it has to be a fairly large server.
Okay.
See, if you have 28, 30, 50 Asterisk servers that you're collecting logs for, and there's quite a big call volume, yeah, you'll need a good server with SCSI rake cards. And don't keep a month worth of logs. We don't need it. A week is probably way too much, but usually 2 days is all you need. So, okay, so let me try to connect to the internet. Now, I'm a Mac guy, and I didn't have the right cable, so I brought in my old PC. So let me see. If you have any questions, just fire them.
You ever use Splunk?
No.
No.
What's Splunk?
Splunk is a log analyzer.
Oh,
Similar probably to what you're doing here.
okay.
It's not free at all.
Oh, I didn't use it. Like people said, oh, Linux is free, Asterisk is free. It's only free if you don't value your time. Okay, so now I'm going on my live system at the office. So we have a phone. I'll do a search on one of our office number, our main toll-free number. So see how quick. Now that system live records 120,000 calls a day, and each call generates 20 to 30 lines of logs. Look at how fast it is. So let me. So it found all the logs for the last 7 days. So now I'll go and see the last log there on my SIP04 server. Click on it. See how fast he went and picked up the logs? It's less than a second. And you see all the details, the ANI, the DNS, and a few stuff that we wrote on our own. The whole information is there. So on this call, we received a call from our gateway. The gateway sent it to our PBX at 209.217.85.34, and my PBX answered it right here. You see? Answer. So the customer said, I never received a call. Or one other problem we also get a lot is, I call my number and it says the number is not in service. And look at the logs. Well, your server answered the call. The not in service message comes from your PBX. So now we can prove it to them because we get that every day. Didn't set up the right context on incoming calls and stuff like this. And they all said, oh, it doesn't come from my server, it's your server. No. So I don't know, just for the fun of it, David, can you? Are you able to call my toll-free number from here? Your number won't show up. It doesn't work. Caller ID from US to Canada.
Those timestamps that are on the left, is that one call that got passed to another call, or is it
Each line is one call. Oh, here?
Yeah, like it says like you have two 2131 stamps on.
Okay, what happened? The VSS1 server is our gateway. So we also collect calls for logs from our gateway. So you're on there? So I do search. Bam, it's already there, 1443. So I click on it. I see the call was answered. He didn't hang up. I didn't get the hang up. So hang up. Bam.